Hello, and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. So, after many moons of people abusing me and giving out to me, we've returned to the GSXR. So, what is the story with the GSXR? Well, fairly straightforward. It's being stripped down in this video. The reason it's voiced over is because I'm still in the shed where other people also work, so it's impossible to talk while working. Also, there's like a billion hours of footage gone into this. Anyway. So where are we? Currently the GSXR, at the end of this video, you'll see it stripped down to frame, engine, carbs removed, all that stuff. All plastics are off except the headlight plastics and stuff. Where did I start? I removed the seat. Pretty simple, 2 bolts at the back and the seat just lifts up. After this, I also removed the rear hump, which is just a little key on the left hand side of the bike, and that just releases and unclips, and there is so much storage space in the butt of this bike. It's actually really impressive, to be quite honest. Then to remove the tank, you have to remove the rear plastics first, kind of around the rear cowl and stuff. Again, fairly straightforward here. There's 2 screws you loosen at the back, and it's mostly pop rivets, so there's two actual physical screws, then it's just kind of all like little pop plugs. Fairly straightforward, and just obviously unplug the light at the back as well, but it's all pretty straightforward. And then obviously to remove the tank, just 2 screws at the front. Most tanks are like this, to be honest, from this era. And then the actual bolt at the back. I removed the whole assembly just because I wanted to take the whole assembly off to be able to clean it later for when I was going to do that. Before I did that, I wanted to unplug stuff because everything was frozen up on the bike because it's old. I actually had to remove the fuel pump assembly, which was awful because there was still 13-year-old petrol in the tank. It was absolutely nasty and it stank. I wish I could get across on video how bad that stuff smelled. It was absolutely horrendous. It just awful. It was awful. It was like a sugar plum fairy came along and got sick on you because it was really real sweet smell mixed with rust, and anyway, it was terrible. It was terrible. So gave the tank as much of a clean out as I could. You can kind of see in there that it's still a bit mucky in the inside, a little bit rusty, but I'm really hoping this tank is recoverable. If it's not, there are options from CMSNL for like €560 for a new tank. Very hard to find a used one online, to be quite honest, and the one from CMSNL comes painted, I think, so you know, it'd probably be a worthy investment if I do go that route, but hopefully this one's recoverable because the paint on it is perfect, so that's the route I want to go. After that, I removed the airbox and filter assembly. This is really easy. Literally just loosen off the kind of the grommets on the bottom that hook them onto the carbs and pull the whole thing up. Very simple and straightforward. And this gives you access to the spark plugs, which is incredible because the only other bike I've ever really dealt with a 4-cylinder in this, you know, inline 4-cylinder kind of facing like that is the Phaser and also Honda Hornet and stuff like that, and all of their spark plugs are absolutely horrendous to get to. But look how easy this is. There's so much space. It's insane. There's so much space. It's incredible. I'd nearly make this bike a daily bike just because I'm like, if I put mileage on it, I can just change out the spark plugs. It's so easy. It's like it'll generally be like a 10-minute job if it was just changing spark plugs, which is phenomenal. So hats off, Suzuki. I love that stuff. You're just incredible. So then I went about removing all of the, or not removing, but just kind of loosening off all the throttle cables and also the choke cable so that I could go about removing the carbs. Throttle cables were fine. Literally just loosen the bolts and they pop straight out. Very, very simple. The choke cable looks like it would generally be okay to remove, but because this one was sitting for quite a while, it proved to be difficult to remove. I won't lie. It was, you know, a lot of bending, a lot of flexing to get that thing out of there. It was just difficult. Not something I'd like to repeat anytime soon. I nearly broke my hand. I don't know, is it my hands are too big or what? But yeah, it was tough to get out of there. But we got it in the end. So that was throttle cables removed and also the choke cable. Not 100% sure am I going to try chance using them again. I think the throttle cables are a little bit stretched and the choke cable looks a bit kind of crappy. So I depending on the cost, I will change them out as well if I can. And then removing the carbs. And again, this was actually easier than you'd expect. You just have to remove the couple of air and fuel lines and all that crack. And then there's 2 access plugs on the frame. You just open this kind of rubber plug that's painted silver to kind of match in. And then you need a long reach screwdriver in order to loosen off these. So you have a screw that clamps 2 cylinders carbs, if that makes sense, each side. So the long reach screw does 2 and 2, 1 each side. You just loosen that off quite a bit, and then you have to. I had to work the carbs quite a bit to get them off. Again, just old boots and stuff, they're probably just stuck. I am going to reuse as much of this as possible because I really don't want to get into spending a lot of money on rebuilding the carbs if I don't have to. So there will be a video coming up of me going at these and just completely cleaning them if I can. That's my plan. I'm hoping it works, but we'll see. But you can see that they are fairly straightforward to take off here, and once they're off, I just did a quick inspection of everything. Everything looks pretty healthy. Everything looks okay. I'm not really overly concerned about anything, to be honest. But you can actually see there with the action on the carbs, they're very, very stuck. It's like a Mexican wave across them. So they have to be cleaned and just taken apart and given a good thorough cleaning. I would say I'm probably going to redo all of the gaskets and seals on the carbs just because, you know, if I'm taking them apart, why not? And it should be okay to get those for it. Jets and stuff, I'm hoping I can reuse them, to be quite honest. That is the plan, but we shall see. Other than that, so the plan for this bike, I know I've said it before, I really want to get it on the road by end of July, mid-August. So that gives me kind of like 6 weeks from now. Is it possible? I don't know. I have a lot of other stuff going on, and whether I can actually get out and put in the work that it needs is, you know, remains to be seen. Obviously, I also need to do stuff along the lines of the chain and sprockets. Again, is that something that I'm going to be able to do soon? I don't know. I hope so. It's a lot of it is about just getting the cash together to buy all those parts. So obviously, getting the carbs redone isn't that much of an expense unless I need to actually buy a lot of parts for it. So I'm hoping I don't have to do that. But chain and sprockets, definitely have to buy them. They're not cheap, but they have to be done, especially the chain. It's been sitting there too long. And also I need to rebuild the forks. I have everything bought to rebuild the forks, so there will be a video on me rebuilding upside down forks, so hopefully that goes okay. the Magna forks went okay, and I also need to rebuild the phaser fork, so plenty of fork rebuilding videos coming. But yeah, so the main kind of cost outlays left with the GSXR are the fuel pump assembly for the tank. I need a new strainer and stuff for that. They've just been sitting in muck too long, so I'm going to change them. The chain and sprockets, need to change them. The new throttle cables and also choke cable, they're not that cheap. And also new tires, which are also not that cheap. And I'll probably go with the S22s, just off the recommendation of Moto Dragon and What Would Grant Do. What Would Grant Do recommended the first. Moto Dragon has them on his MT10 now, so yeah, we'll go with that. But there you go, there's your update video on the GSXR. I hope you enjoyed it. Really, I do, because this was a couple of days work of videoing that just kind of all gets hidden in a short video. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like and subscribe button. It does brighten up my day. I'm not joking about that. It makes me feel happier. And a couple of shout outs. So I did recently get a new microphone, Purple Panda. Mucho thank you to Guest on Lane. Check out their channel. I would not have gotten those new mics if it wasn't for them. Did try test one today and it failed me miserably. I think that was my fault with how I was recording to an iPhone. I think I need to change up how I do that. But yeah, anyway, we'll sort that out. The next desk video, I will have their stickers displayed proudly on the sticker desk, and also to Moto G Spot. The name isn't what you think it means, and he does have a video up explaining it, so also go check him out. He sent me out stickers and stuff, so thank you very much, G. Much appreciated, buddy. But that's it. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it gives you a bit of an indication where the GSXR is right now. So that's where it is. That's as far as I've gotten with it. And yeah, so until next time, thank you very much for watching. Adios. Outro crew. Can I get a show of hands? Should I just leave the chain and sprocket standard? I think I'm going to leave them standard. I don't think that bike needs any changes. And also tire recommendations. Do you recommend anything other than the S22 as recommended by What Would Grant Do and Moto Dragon? Also check out their channels if for some reason you haven't yet. Yeah. Muchas gracias, amigos. Adios.